Hello, my name's Darren. I'm going to show you how now to get started using patient notes with your real patients. Firstly, log into a web browser. This could be a work PC, a tablet, a smartphone, any device that can access a web browser. Enter the email address and password you signed up with. If you haven't yet signed up, use the hyperlink to sign up at the bottom. The first thing we recommend is to do a microphone check. Patient Notes uses audio to text AI, so it's really important that you get audio into your system. Allow the permission for your web browser to access your microphone. On the microphone test, select Start. Record a short snippet. It only needs to be about 5 to 10 seconds, and then stop and replay. Check that the audio is coming out clearly, and even check this within your consultation zone. For example, you may move 1 to 2 meters around your room. Check that the audio is being picked up. If you cannot hear anything, check that the microphone is firstly connected, and also check your speakers have sound output. To start a consultation, we recommend doing this either with a friend or relative, or do it in parallel with your traditional note-taking style. The benefit of patient notes is it enables a free-flowing style, so we want you to be comfortable with the system before using it in your real clinical context. You'll note on the dashboard, you enter a patient name. This does not need to be unique. It could just be a first name, and you do not need to enter date of birth or any confidential information such as phone numbers or email. Select the session type. You are able to set up a different profile for initial versus follow-up consultation. Select Start Session. You'll be asked then for the patient consent. And I'll put down below here an example of how that could be worded. And it's often important that you come up with your own verbal cue in order to make that seamless in your consultation. To start a session, click Start Recording. You'll notice that a little red Start Record button appears in the web browser. At any time during the consultation, you have the option of pausing the recording. This is really useful if there's any confidential information that you may want to exclude or the patient doesn't want to include. Or you can use this as a dictation function at the end of the consultation, either to provide a summary or even add in some information you may not have wanted to say in front of your client. You'll see the navigation bar on the left-hand side. This guides through from the recording to the creation of the clinical notes to then being the portal for patient summaries and then medical letters. After the recording is processed, it will create a draft of your clinical notes. Please note that the style of the notes is completely configurable, and we'll talk about that in a later session. You'll then see the population of all of the information. On your first login, you'll notice that there's a section down below that says you're in training mode. This gives you the option to make some edits to the clinical notes so that Patient Notes understands your letter writing style and clinical notes preferences. Down the bottom, you have the option to provide feedback, and that goes back to our clinical team to help us refine your experience. Next to those, you'll see the option more concise or more detailed notes, or if you want to use the button to select medical shorthand. Adjacent to that is the option to add in anything that you may have found hasn't been included in your transcript. This is a useful tool, especially as you're getting started to learn how you want your notes to be formed. Once you've done quite a few sessions, you'll then find that by refining your prompts and adjusting some of the output as you intend, you really often don't need to use this section. Once you've edited your notes, and it's really important to understand that these notes are a draft and they'll be between 95 to 99% accurate once you've got your prompts all exactly as you like. Mark as complete, and that puts the information above onto your clipboard that you can paste into your practice management system. Patient Notes does not store your information after 30 days, so simply copy and paste and put that into your own secure practice management or electronic records. Next to the Markers Complete button, you have the option either to stay on this page, and that enables you then to process straight to medical letters and bypass the summary. Or if you go next step, or even just leave it as Markers Complete, it will go to the next patient summary, which is a letter or an action plan for your patient. Go into your practice management system and either use your mouse to right-click and paste. In Windows, you can use Control-V, Apple, Command-V, and that will put the information into your system. So you'll note here, it's still an option where you can use in parallel your current practice management system. Here a body chart's been used, and we've copied and pasted the information from patient notes straight in as a subjective and objective examination. The patient summary is a treatment or action plan of that consultation, and it's very, very detailed, and it gives you the option to provide a summary of the consultation to your patient. You have the option again to edit that, and in the same way that the notes were, the Markers Complete will put it onto your clipboard and then process that into your practice management system. So that's the same style as you would currently send a letter. The benefit to the patient notes is that this is generated automatically, and it's occurred within 20 to 30 seconds of the creation of your clinical notes. From there, you have the option to write a medical letter. Simply select the type of letter, the patient's doctor's name, and any instructions you would like. You can change all of these. They are set up default in your prompts that we'll talk about later, but you have the option during the consultation to change this if you are wanting some bespoke change to that individual letter. It will produce the letter, and then again, Markers Complete, copy, paste into your system, and email as you would normally. You can very easily enter previous clinical notes. So for example, if you have an old clinical note that you'd like a patient summary or a letter, you'll notice on the right-hand side here, enter transcript manually. That gives you the option to then input notes that may have been generated in the past to create a clinical letter. Thank you for joining, and I think you're ready now to start your first session using patient notes.